Welcome to this A-level question on functions. Now we have here a question about a function f where x maps onto this thing here. X is a member of the real numbers and the domain is restricted so that x cannot equal the number 2. And from that we've got to state the value of the constant a. Well, basically what they're saying here is what would cause the denominator of that fraction to be 0, okay, and therefore make it invalid. And if x cannot equal 2, the implication is that a must be minus 2. Okay, so we can just state that a equals minus 2, and although it doesn't ask for a reason, we could just say that 2 minus 2 equals 0. Okay, and therefore you can't divide by 0. Okay, so cannot divide by 0. Okay, and that's answering that question. Now, part B is asking us about f of 6 equals 4. We've got to find the value of b. Well, we just substitute x for 6 and solve it really. So we've got 6 plus x plus b is 6 plus b, okay, on the numerator. And then on the denominator we've got 6 plus a, and we've just said that a is minus 2. So it's that. And we know that that equals 4 because they're telling us that in the question. So if we just process that by multiplying by the denominator, we get 6 plus b equals 4 times 4, which is 16. And from that we can see that b is 10. Okay. So we now know what b is, we know what a is, and we can go on to answer part C. We got to find the inverse function of f and state its domain. Well, look, for this one, we redefine, instead of saying x maps onto this, we say y equals. Okay, so we write the function as y equals, and we've got x plus 10, because we now know what b is, okay, and we divide that by x minus 2. Okay, well, what we have to do is essentially rearrange this formula, if you like, and find an expression for x in terms of y. So if we multiply both sides by the denominator, we get y times x minus 2 must equal x plus 10. Okay, and multiply out the brackets. So essentially what we're trying to do is get all of the x terms on one side and all of the non-x terms on the other. Okay, so let's just do the brackets first to give us that. Now, if I subtract x from both sides, I have yx, take away x, and then add 2y to both sides at the same time. That will give me 10 plus 2y. Okay, and now you see I can, with all the x's on one side, I can factorize out the x, and I now have a single x term in the expression on the left hand side, and that equals 10 plus y. 10 plus 2y. And now I just need to divide both sides by y minus 1. So I get x equals 10 plus 2y, okay, over y minus 1. And that's essentially the answer, except that I redefine it in terms of x instead of y. So the way I would present the answer is that f to the minus 1 of x, I'll just write it here, f to the minus 1 of x, that's the inverse function, okay, is such that x maps onto, and then I say 10 plus 2x, basically replacing the y with an x, and on the bottom there, x minus 1. Okay, and that is the inverse function defined. And finally, it says state the domain. So the domain of that is that x can be a member of the real numbers. Okay, so x can be a member of the real numbers such that x cannot equal, well, it cannot take the value of 1. Okay, because that would cause this denominator to be 0. Okay, so that is the end of that question, and just highlight those answers there. Okay, and that's it.